This conference will now be recorded.
I got a minute. I still got 58. You still have 58?
Do it. I can handle this.
It's the countdown. I mean, I got 6 o'clock up there. I hate all that. I got 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I believe we do not have any amendments, so I just need adoption of the agenda. Any further discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Review the minutes from December 1st, regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from December 1st. Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0.
Bob's gonna abstain.
Bob abstains. 4-0-1. Thanks, Bob. Accounts payable. Dirk.
Accounts payable December 15, 2022. Total is $81,020.97. Ticket items, CEDA $21,791.33. Ampion PVC for solar credit costs $7,714.8. Accept the accounts payable for 2022.
Well, you gotta say the amount.
He started it.
Oh, I started it.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
I'll make it the accounts payable for 12/15/2022 in the amount of $81,020.97.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Dirk. Public comments. Individuals may address the city council about any item of concern. Speakers must state their name and limit the remarks to 5 minutes. Yes, sir.
I'm here working in town.
Okay. Address? Can we just get your address?
709 Main. It's the Catholic church there, working on the Father's house.
Okay.
Anyway, I understand the snow removal and everything. I come in on County Road 10 and there's no sign for snow removal. And we got to the job, we put our work trailers in the road. There's no signs on the road. And then I was issued tickets on that first snowfall. So I was like, okay, what's going on? So I drove out to the road I come in on and I turned around, I come driving in where it reaches the residential and there's a radar sign out there, the 30 miles an hour one. I drove up to it and I'm looking for the snow removal sign and it's about a foot behind it and you can't even see it when you're driving into town. So usually when my trailers are in the way of someone, the sheriffs or whoever, if they're going to issue a ticket, they'll normally just call me and I'll come move the trailer or a warning. Right now we moved, I got the trailers moved up into the church parking lot now. So I'm just wondering if we can, have some compensation where, you can throw out the tickets because of the sign thing and all that. It's just kind of a misunderstanding in the way, I guess.
How many tickets were you issued?
There was, well, I have a job trailer and a dump trailer, so there's 2 tickets. They're $30 a piece. It's $60.
Sure.
It's just the principal thing. The sign's not there. If I would have saw the sign, I wouldn't have even put them there. It would have been clicking in my head. I can't park on the streets in this town. So.
I mean, I know normally in the past, we don't like to forgive those just because we're setting a precedence for
Sure.
other people. I mean, and that sign, I was aware of that. That was done by the county, I believe, that put that up. So, I mean,
So-
Because he's not from town and he didn't know the thing.
Yeah.
We had a similar situation down the road where there was 2, same thing, job trailer, another trailer. That gentleman came in and paid his tickets. It was a contractor as well. I don't know if he's from town. No,
Kim
I
says
don't think so. But anyway, just as a comparison, and the sign is buried. I went and took pictures of it after I spoke to him. I went out and it is back there. So we're going to get that fixed. But we don't have a sign on every road coming into town either. So I'm a little afraid that the argument's going to be made, well, I didn't see a sign coming in on this road. I can understand the difficulty and the argument. A little careful on setting a precedent.
This is the first time this has happened.
Is it?
so,
Okay.
yeah.
That's why he asked me, do they ever, I guess Father Kessel called and asked, do they ever forgive those? I thought, I don't know, they had not since I've been here. Well, no wonder, it hasn't happened, huh?
I wouldn't do it for a resident because they should know. And you probably should have known that because it's known, but I'm obliged to say that we can forgive this one because
both of them or just one?
both of them,
Okay.
that he wasn't trying to be obstructive and leave it and he moved it, but that's just my opinion. Have any strong feelings about it?
No, maybe for some emergency time of year.
Motion?
I was just discussing, but, can we make a motion or does it have to go on the agenda?
No, I think you can take action. You don't have to take action during public comments, but I believe you can.
I'll make a motion to dismiss these tickets for the reasons stated previously.
I'll second.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Thanks for coming in.
So we're good.
Yep,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other public comments, portions? I will close the public portion part and we will jump to unfinished business. Kim, let's get this baby done.
Before you go, copies of the budget. I did make one slight adjustment. I did make one adjustment after our meeting last night with Ellers. I did make that stormwater change in there. That's not a levied amount, so we can adopt that with the fee schedule. But I did change that in there. If you choose to go with that, we'll leave it. If not, we can correct that after the fact. So pretty much the same where we were talking about last week. I hadn't made any changes from there. Impact to the individual property owners was about a 2.2% increase in their city property taxes. That's kind of the roundabout. We've been talking about it since June. So any questions, I'd be happy to entertain.
Did a good job. Put that down there.
So we just need a motion to approve.
We need a
the
motion to adopt the
2023 budget.
I will make a motion. Resolution 22, resolution approving final budget and fundable in 2023.
It's a roll call.
Sarah?
Aye.
Tina?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Dirk?
Aye.
And I say aye, so passes 5-0-0. Just want to thank Kim for all the hard work she's done that, all the department heads, and all the council for all the special meetings and extra time we've done for the budget. Perfect. Thanks, Kim. New business. SEMMCHRA, Small Cities Development Program. Brian.
Yes, we've got Nick Coverman in attendance to present this program to us. We'll just let Nick take it away.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Nick Coberman. I'm the new Community Development Director for the Southeast Minnesota Multi-County Housing and Redevelopment Authority. Yes, it is a mouthful, and I've learned it since September. So tonight I'm here to make the request for a possible partnership and opportunity to partner SEMCRA with the City of Zumbrota for a possible Small Cities Development Program grant. Looking back through the history, actually the last time SEMCRA served Zumbrota was back in 1993, where they did, I believe it was 18 homes rehabilitation. So it's been a while, a little, close to 30 years almost. I thought I'd provide just a little bit about the history of the program, just kind of as a basis for everybody. So the Small Cities Development Program, of course, is funded through the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it's administered through the Department of DEED, Department of Employment and Economic Development. The goal of the program is really to develop viable communities by providing financial assistance to address the need for decent, safe, and affordable housing. Several weeks ago, I took part in a housing tour where we toured various communities talking about how can we build new homes? How can we continue to spur on the developments that we want to see in the new subdivisions? Well, I was the only one there that was there to talk about how do we rehab our infrastructure and our existing homes that are already in our community, and how do we keep them as affordable homes for residents? Because there is, of course, a cycle of housing, and that's part of that natural cycle. And so those homes are worthwhile, and that's kind of the point of the program, is how do we keep those affordable and then viable for our communities. So this kind of ties into SEMCRA's goal, which is, of course, to help people who want to stay in their homes, elderly, low to moderate income, while helping communities to make that investment into their existing communities' housing stock. Some of the other communities that we've helped to take part in Goodhue County, we've made about $4.2 million in investment in Small Cities Development Program since 1993. So I almost want to say, but I don't have all the history, that Zumbrota was the first community in Goodhue County that we actually served through the program. Other communities, of course, Kenyon, Mazeppa, Pine Island, Wanamingo, Goodhue, Denison, and Dodge County overall. So currently I'm working on a grant for Goodhue and Denison, and we were just awarded Mazeppa this round. So we're working through that. So in essence, the Small Cities Development Program basically provides $25,000 to qualified recipients as a 10-year forgivable loan grant. So is there a loan payment during the time that you have this program? No. If you stay in your home for 10 years, it's 100% forgivable. If you stay in your home up to 6 years, or you sell within that first 6-year time period, then the program is paid back 100%. Every year thereafter, it decreases 20%, so that the investment's made and people just don't turn around and sell the home and make the benefit of that. The new program guidelines, because of the size of Zumbrota, we are going to actually shoot for citywide. Historically, how they have done that is they basically go around the city and say, where's your greatest need and your greatest interest? And they come up with a target area inside your community. Over time, they've figured out that it's better to go citywide. So originally, I'm from St. Charles. I'm helping to administer the program now. And I got a call that said, I'm just across the line from where that target area is. Can I qualify? And at that time, it was no. Unfortunately, you can't. We took their name. We made the case back to DEED and said, look, this is unfair. We need more people to take advantage of the program. So they went citywide. So it's really helped out that way. Some of the pieces that the funds can help to pay for: siding, windows, furnaces, electrical and plumbing upgrades, energy efficiencies. Another one that I'm seeing a lot of is actually accessibility pieces for the elderly, whether we're remodeling a bathroom or one case, we actually took the laundry that was in the basement and moved it up to the main floor so that the folks could stay in their home even longer. So the program does look at health and safety pieces first, and then also if there's lead, the program requires, because it's a HUD program, that they must abate the lead, whether it's painting the winds, the trim, or total replacement. So what is the process and timeline? So everybody has kind of information in their packet that talks through kind of a letter that's sent out for a survey. And then we go through, and basically the preliminary apps are due November of 2023. So the good news is I'm here well in advance of that timeline to give us enough time. This year we're going to target, we would like to work with Zumbrota, and Mazeppa has already said that they would, Maynardville would like to take part in the program. So those are the two communities that we're going to work with in the 2023-2024 year. We were just awarded Cannon Falls, Mazeppa, and Rolling Stone and Altura. So we will be working with those communities over the next 3 years, and we hope to add Zumbrota to the list. So the first step is basically to assess and survey that interest and needs. So included in the packet is the survey, some of the brochures that will be sent out. I'm looking at probably March, April of 2023 to send out the survey, receive the data back, and then come back to council probably May, June to review those results. Our rehab specialist and myself toured Zumbrota probably 3 weeks ago. And just with a quick, rough drive-through, we found about 125 homes that we felt would qualify. And of course, not being a rehab specialist myself, it was interesting. It had just snowed. And so we're driving by and it's like, well, we do roofs. How can we look and see if the roofs are bad? And he goes, well, this is easy. We drive by and you can see where there's no snow, there's no insulation. And he goes, and that's where heat's escaping. So that worked really well. And then you could, of course, see all the condensation in the windows. So it's worked really well. If council elects to proceed, we will draft the preliminary application for November. It is then ranked by deed. And deed basically looks, is it competitive? Is it marginally competitive, or is it not? If we can make it marginally competitive or competitive, they would request or invite us to do the full application in December of 2023. And then they typically award, so then the full applications are due in February, March 2024. And then the funding announcement isn't made until September of 24. Although this year, we just received word for these 3 grants just before Thanksgiving. So they can take some time. Moving forward, the community, if approved, would adopt several resolutions and policies and procedures that basically, it's my job to walk the community through. It's a turnkey process. And as the consultant or the partner in the process, we take care, we manage all the financial reports, we take care of all the disbursement payments to vendors. So it's a very nice program and really helps to get out and help those that need it most. Formerly in my past life, I was a city administrator for St. Charles, and we took advantage of the program. And for myself, it was really easy. I didn't have to do a thing. I posted some notes or posted some fair labor standard pieces, fair housing to say that Zumbrota or St. Charles is a fair housing city. I didn't have to do anything. They would send me, Deed would send me the money. I would send it to SEMCRA and they would take care of making the payments. So, and then that's also part of the administrative contract at the end. We keep track of all the reports, the annual reports that I was lucky enough to do this year for the next several years after the grant is closed. So the next step, what we would do, as I mentioned, it is a competitive grant. Part of the resolution, the city is being asked to leverage 10,000 because this demonstrates the commitment by the community to HUD and deed that there's interest in, and that the city wants to partner and take part in that. And that's served us well in the past. The nice thing is the funds are only required if the grant is awarded. So there's no obligation, there's no risk to the city until we find out in December of 2023, or well, March of 2024, I guess. So that's kind of my spiel in a nutshell. Are there any questions?
Is there a limit as to the number of houses that can be served? Or do you offer general?
So typically what I've seen done is an average of about 20 homes. That's just about, it's a little over $500,000 in community investment. And that's probably reasonable. Right now, because of COVID, we're working on closing 68 grants by September of 2023. I don't know if anybody tracks supply items or whatnot. When I started in September, windows were 18 weeks out. Today, we're at 40. So it's almost a year. So now I'm having to go back to deed and say, I'm going to need to extend some of these because I need more time. We can get the money committed, but I can't get the supply stuff that I need. So yeah, so it's a long process, and 20 seems to be just about the right number. So.
You did this in St. Charles?
Yes,
How long ago was that?
we're still going through it. So.
No one proceeded yet?
There are some, yes. Thus far, they've completed 3. And I think unfortunately, because of turnover with staff in the organization and then COVID, it really slowed up. We actually went to deed and asked for St. Charles, 2 other communities, sorry, to ask for citywide and to eliminate the income limits because that was holding people back. So we want to make sure we qualify as many people as possible. The other conversation I continue to have is how do we increase the amount of the grants? They max at 25,000. And right now, because of material pricing, average projects are somewhere around 30, 31,000. I mean, windows that used to be $350 to $600 are now $1,000 to $1,500. So.
How long has this program been alive? I mean,
I have history that tracks it back to at least 1993.
okay.
So I guess I don't have any more information than that because we serve a 4-county area: Goodhue, Dodge, Winona, and Wabasha with this program. I know in Wabasha County, they've made an investment of a little over $8 million. So
You said it's grant money. Where is that coming from?
comes from HUD, comes from the federal housing. And then it's dispersed down to deed. So that's what they were waiting for this year, was to see what the federal government was going to do and how much they were going to allot to the program. So that's why it took so long.
Everything is taken care of by yourselves and
Correct.
nothing really on the city's part?
All we do is we do make requests to the accountant to say, we submitted a reimbursement request. When the funds come in to the city, then they turn around and they cut Semcra a check, and then we pay all the contractors and vendors.
The dollars still funnel through the city though?
Correct. Yep. So you would, if you exceed the Yellow Book audit amount of $750,000, then you may be required to submit a separate audit through your auditors, but most of the communities have not done that. So because it's how much hits in that year, it's not total grant. So we may only spend $150,000 one year, $250,000 the next, and then the remainder the following. So.
Do we just need a motion? We want to.
'23.
further discussion?
Brian, what's your thoughts on it?
Program. Bunch of money that I don't have to do anything with. You know, no, it'll be good for the community. You know, like Nick said, been a while since Aurora has had this, but it does funnel a bunch of money back in. There's plenty of rehab that needs to be done. You know, when you look at windows, for sure, I'm sure that was a lot of what you identified was a lot of windows, roofs, things like that. We do have some siding that we would love to see taken care of on a number of homes. So, you know, for the city putting in $10,000 in 2025, we can definitely budget for that as we go. You know, so that's not a problem at all. Yeah, I think, I don't know why we wouldn't do this.
The other piece that I forgot to mention is that if any of the funds are paid back because someone sells their home early, the funds stay with the community. So then we can take those over the years, and that's kind of part of the post-grant contract, is that then we can put those dollars back out into the community to do some good. So.
We got a motion and a second. Sarah,
I,
Tina,
Aye.
Bob, Dirk. And I say aye. Passes 4-1-0. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
New business, 8B, fee schedule discussion and set public hearing. Brian.
Good to see you, Nick. Thanks. Hopefully brought your readers for this one. Oh, you've got it on a big screen. It printed kind of small, so. Yeah, we've got a few proposed changes in there. I did a little bit of research on area communities to see where they were at with fees. Todd requested that I do a little bit of research on that stuff. Just proposing to raise the ATV, UTV to $15. Kim had put the return check fee in here. Non-sufficient check fee is more now. Let's see, meeting room usage. We're just going to raise that a little bit. We're going to bring, later on in the agenda, we've got a cleaning contract on there. We thought, well, if someone rents the room, a few more bucks towards that would help as a rental. So look at raising that from $40 to $50. Gosh, what else here? Solicitor peddler permit. That's kind of all over the board. I kind of took a middle point there from other communities and maybe raise that to $100. There are structures where they do it for a 1 day, a week, a month, 6 months, a year. It's all broken down. I don't know that we have a lot of that, but I thought there's a little bit room to move there with that rather than getting too complicated. And there is a fair amount of work that goes in. We do also do a name, we print a name badge for them now as well with our new system. So we can recoup a few more dollars on that if we raise that up a little bit. Kim, you want to talk about the water and sewer stuff?
Just exactly what we discussed last evening with others. 6% increase plus the other increases. The only thing that would not be correct is that I think this would be the stormwater. Again, we can discuss that and go over that in January. I don't know if I updated that.
Yeah, where is the stormwater? I'm not seeing it out here.
it's down a little bit.
Yeah, because they were recommending
225.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and the only other one we had on there, oh yeah, there it is down there, is the shelter fee. Want to go up a little bit on that? We've got the new bathrooms up there. We've got a sink inside now. It's more usable than it was last year. Yeah. You haven't seen the new bathrooms up there? It looks like the covered bridge even. It's kind of modeled after. Oh, it's, yeah, you have to go up and see it. Put your snowshoes on and go up there.
Yeah.
Yep, nope, yeah, the bathrooms are there. And while the building is there, they're still working on the interior. So that, but it'll be there for spring. And then we did put some plumbing and a sink inside as well. There'll be lighting out there. Yes, we've talked about that extensively as well. So just a few proposed changes. And again, like Kim said, we'll vote on that first meeting in January. Get back to me with any thoughts, comments along the way before then.
Who wants to make a motion to set the public hearing for the fee schedule on the first meeting in January? Correct?
Yes. That'd be the 5th, I think. 5th, yep, thank you.
You have to post that, right?
Got to get that, yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Second that.
Any further discussions?
Is that with the amended 225 or?
No, we will discuss it. We'll discuss it then and vote on it.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Brian. 8C, 2023 Scanlon Merch Associates Audit Engagement Letter. Kim?
You can come back to see him. Actually, there's a slight increase in it. It was 22 last year and it went up to 23,000 for the audit. So that they've done, we have a good working relationship. I'm anticipating we'll have a little more digging in this year because we've got the new system to discuss and go through. But I think we've done well together and I would recommend we go forward with this.
I will second it.
Any further discussion?
Your work is pretty entertaining.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Kim. 8D, 2023 cleaning contract for City Hall and police. Brian?
Yes, we've been discussing this for a little while. We went out and got 3 different bids. I've included all of them in the packet. A couple of them were higher than what we had put in the budget for cleaning. The one we're requesting approval for, Made It Clean. She is out of Kenyon. She cleans their city hall, their fire hall, Wanamingo's fire hall, Wanamingo's city hall. She's got a whole bunch of public buildings between here and Kenyon that she cleans. She's insured and the quote fit our budget. And so we're looking to move forward with Made It Clean LLC, Melissa Bartel.
Starting January 1.
January 1 is, yep, I'll give her a call tomorrow morning if you approve it tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve that contract for 2023 with the needed.
Second?
Clean.
Made It Clean.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
You didn't even give me a chance to discuss it. You all should be vacuuming your own thing. Why are we paying for this service? Just kidding, Brian.
Don't look at me. Yeah, no, it's,
We're good.
we've tried hard and
You've done a good job.
There's just
In
a
like
lot
3
of-
years of cleaning it, you've done a good job.
just don't touch any high edges or blinds or anything like that. It's grout lines and tile and there's a lot of things that have slipped. So it needs a little help.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Brian. 8E, Northwest Water Looping Amendment.
Yes,
Brian.
this is the water looping that's been being worked on since I came around. And we are hopefully going to get that moving. Well, it's probably going to be a next fall project at this point. We received the $560,000 of federal congressionally directed spending dollars to help with that project. It's a grant program hosted by the EPA. And I've sat through it's been 3 hours of EPA guidance on administering grants and their grants and the reporting and everything that goes along with it. And I don't have the expertise myself to see that through all the way. WHKS does, they've done many of these things before, but it's outside of the original contract, an agreement that we signed with them for the water looping project. So it's going to cost a little bit of money. It costs $10,000 for them to do, or $15,000, excuse me, up to $15,000 for them to administer this grant, get everything submitted, do the reporting. and all of that goes along with it. It's just incredibly complicated, and we need their expertise to see this through. So, 15,000 out of that 560 is reasonable for administering this whole project or this whole grant.
We have that other 400, wasn't it originally $1 million grant?
Yeah, but it ended up being 560 total. So anyway, looking for approval for the WHKS amendment to administer the grant.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Brian. 8F, 2023 cigarette tobacco license renewals. Brian?
Yep, this is all of them. Actually, there's going to be one more coming. We had to send one back for some more paperwork, or some more paperwork wasn't complete, but this is what we've got for now. We wanted to move these forward.
Make a motion, we accept these license renewals for cigarette and tobacco.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions? Yes, Tina?
Question. So it's only cigarette and tobacco? It has nothing to do with the,
Nobody has applied for any of the cannabinoids, whatever it's, the THC stuff.
so, like, we're raising the fee on the tobacco and cannabis together on the other lines. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't missing it here. Okay, good.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Passes 4-0-1. Thanks, Brian. Reports.
Yes, a big thank you to Mike and the streets crew for getting the speakers installed downtown. As I understand it, they're all installed, but they're not quite working yet. I think they're trying to.
Working.
Are they?
They've been scaring everybody all day.
Oh, really? They got the signal to them?
It's loud. People are like, what is happening?
Oh, I didn't make it down there today, but yeah, good.
It's good. It's awesome, but they're freaking out. A lot of people.
I think it was a fair amount of work, so I appreciate the guys
Great.
doing that.
It's just funny because you're like, what is happening? Why is my bartender thought, because we have an outside speaker.
Yeah.
They thought
Yours is loud.
it was fun.
Is it Christmas music that they're playing on it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll have to go walk down there.
It's very festive.
Good, perfect for today. Looks like Christmas out there. For the sanitary district, we met with the new mayor from Goodhue and the new council members from each community last Thursday, just to give them a overview of what it is, explain what a sanitary district is, what the process has been. There's going to be lots of questions still going along as we move along. But it went well, and there was a bunch of questions. There'll be more questions. Mike did some minutes and everything for it. So we've, it was a good meeting. And then I just want to say thank you to Kim and Miranda for doing the heavy lifting on the new financial system. It's been a process. And so there's many hours of training during the week, and they're still getting the other work done. So it's been stressful, and it's going to be good when it's all there. We're starting to fold in the department heads now and bits and pieces of it, and it's very intuitive, the system is. It's just a new way of doing things for the financials for Kim. So she's doing well with it, and we appreciate it, Kim. And I'll let Kim talk more about the system if she wants to later. But I also wanted to thank the council and department heads for attending the work session last evening. It's a big deal. It's a big undertaking, and we knew that. It was good discussion last night. We've got a ways to go. We'll do some more studying on a few of the things that were discussed as far as that goes. And if you have any questions along the way, now that you've got the gist of it, I'm going to probably hold off on sending the full plan until we make a couple of the tweaks we had talked about. The full plan is all the line items. It's everything. We've got some tweaks to make in the capital equipment and a few other things. So we're going to get that going a little bit more before we give you all the line items, and it's confusing. There's a lot of stuff there and things tie back and around and cash transfers, and only Kim understands all that stuff. So anyway, that's all I've got.
Perfect. Thanks, Brian. Matt?
On the music, it's fabulous. My secretary's doing the grid sheet today and it lifted her spirit.
Perfect.
You've got 2 speakers outside of your place too, it looks like. Yeah, or 2 sets.
Perfect. Chief?
We've been working with the Motorola WatchGuard system most of this week. Everything seems to be operational. There's still bugs that we're trying to work out, one of them being upload speed. And we're discovering a couple of things. We may need a different switch that's constrictive. And we're going to test out some internet with some rototelephone that they're going to just let us try to see if it works. And if it does, great, then we'll switch over. That's already there, ready to go. All we got to do is work with Marco to ensure that the IPs function properly. And the same with working with Marco on some of our other bugs that are not WatchGuard related. I should have the last squad here tomorrow morning, and that will be all up to par. We're using the body cams, and in my opinion, even though it's frustrating that there's these bugs, it's way better than what we had. So it's going to be a lot more versatile. So looking forward to that. And I did want to mention the issue we had at 1087 4th Street West, nuisance property we were working with. The homeowner there did abate that issue. Even though we did show up with a cleanup crew, there was nothing for the cleanup guy to do. Vehicles were removed, rubbish was removed, and it was satisfactory. And so there was another situation that was avoided, and our cleanup guy said, no worry, it worked out well. I think the fact that we were going to follow through was enough for the homeowner there to realize that we were going to do it. So that is all.
And it's known that we will again if we need to.
Yep.
So, and Justin is modeling the body cam tonight. He's got one on next.
Yeah. Anything else, Chief?
That is all.
Thank you. James?
Nothing tonight, thanks, Mayor.
Kurt?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Kimberly?
Well, since Brian said I had to give an update on the system, last month our bills went out with our system, on the new system. They were late because we were a day late sending them up, but somewhere in postal land, they were lost and didn't come back to Zumbrota from Minneapolis after they were posted. So they got out, but it's going well. I think there's a lot of terminology things Tina and I were discussing that don't jive that we're figuring along the way. We are getting the supervisors the ability to view their budgets and their personnel in their departments, see where they're at with all those things. So that's going to be very nice. They'll have that at their fingertips. And tomorrow we will be meeting with supervisors to work on the timekeeping system. So they're versed in it to bring it forward to their staff.
Perfect. Thanks again. Mike?
Yeah, so just a couple items, I guess. A little clarification on Mr. Erickson's parking ordinance. So I guess I'm just wondering, is it expectations that we would call out of, or just call in general contractors who are parked on the street to give them a heads up? And secondly, he's still out of compliance because he's not parked in the parking lot, he's parked in the alley. And we do plow that alley behind the Catholic Church.
I know, but he moved it and he told me it wasn't a thing. I wish you would have spoken up.
Well, and the church is well aware of that alley behind there. I mean, they're well aware of that. They know, I mean, we've taken care of that, maintained that for years. They use it as their own as well, but we still plow that alley.
It's a city alley.
It is a city alley. I got it up on GIS right now. That
There's
run.
some assumptions that it's there, he's not really
Well,
in a lot, so
the
maybe it's
church
just a.
knows and the priest knows. I mean, I've been up there and talked with the priest before I mean, we've always maintained that alley.
But maybe it's just a conversation with. whoever's kind of-
Well, that's what I mean. Is that the expectations of staff to make these contacts and talk to people and let them know?
Well, I think when they're contractors and they're working on, we would give that same courtesy to any contractor in town, I would assume. If they have a big dump trailer somewhere that's in the alley that is ours and.
So that would be left, I mean, pretty much up to the police. If they're gonna contact them, I guess they would. I mean, we've never had to go.
Or just leave the street or the ordinance on there like you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't plow it. You just can't use it. I mean, I would say it's probably more discussion than, like, that probably would have been good to know.
The whole time I've been on council, so.
But you know what I mean? Like, perhaps, y'all can think about that. Come up with a process.
A call to Father Kessel will take care of that, probably the alley. He did call me too to see what could be done, and I said, well, you can come to council and ask.
But
So,
after this.
Right,
it's
but
still
so
But
we have
after
to tell him,
this-
it's still not in the right
He
spot.
knows now.
Yeah, he said it was in the parking lot and it's really in
It's
an alley.
not. So
Yeah.
he needs, that just needs to be remedied, I
Do you want me to call him? Is that, I'm happy to call him.
Well, that's what we've never done that before. So that's what I'm asking. Is that the expectation of staff to reach out and contact?
I think it's a conversation we had, just should reach out. Just take them again.
well, in this case, yeah, I think a call for sure, because he probably doesn't know that's an alley. Maybe Father Kessel does, but I think that's his name.
Catholic Church is somebody that's bigger.
But yeah, we can contact them for sure. But I think the overall question of contacting everybody isn't probably reasonable.
Secondly, I was able to spend some time with Joan and Kevin today. We took them around, gave them a little tour. They were able to spend a little bit of time with Larry, probably not as much time, the weather wasn't. We got out to the wastewater plant, got through most of it, but again, and that's for any of you guys, if anybody ever wants to go out there or see anything else, just make sure that you get a hold of me anytime, and I'm willing to take you out there. Got through the wells and the booster stations, and that was probably about it. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add to that?
It was good. It was good to see it. It was, all the meetings were good.
Yeah, they met with James and Pat and Kim and I and Kurt, and so they know everything about everything now.
I thought that was the best part of the tour, just to see how that works.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike. I have a couple things. First, I want to thank Tina for all her services, years of service. I've learned a lot over the 6 years I've been with her on Personnel Committee and keeping me on my toes at times. And I know the city of Zumbrota will miss you. So thank you on that. And I also want to thank Dirk for his short term stepping in for Horvath. Hopefully you've learned some and hopefully you're not a stranger. Perfect. Thanks, guys. That's all I got. Sarah?
Ditto, I was in the city.
Tina? You have nothing? Bob?
I just wanted to say thank you too for the service that you've done.
Dirk?
I was going to say thank you for the council for trusting me for the 6 months I was here. I've really enjoyed it. And for Brian and your team, watching the inner workings of the city, it helped me to understand my tax bill better. None of us like paying taxes, but you know, when you see what it's going towards, it certainly takes some of the sting out of it. So thank you. Good job. Keep it up.
Let me jump in one more time too and say thank you. Todd made me wait until he said thank you, so. But yeah, no, Tina, thank you. You've always been the one to question and challenge, and I've appreciated that tremendously. Learned a lot, so. And I'm sure you'll still have my numbers.
I don't get to email you.
Nope,
My
you can-
random-
You
She
can,
still will.
you can still, yeah. Keep at it. And Dirk too, yeah, thanks for stepping in. I didn't onboard well the way I am, hopefully with them. But I didn't realize that until now, so I kind of threw you in and said, here you go. Kind of fended for yourself, but did well. You caught up on things quite quickly and yeah, and we want to invite both of you back for the beginning of the first meeting, January 5th, next month. That'll give you a couple weeks to put your speeches together, the formal speeches. But no, just show up for the beginning of the next meeting and we'll, yeah. Thanks.
Meeting adjourned.
Just update that time, updates when I find.